Hey y'all, it's me coming on for a solemn Sunday message. I just want to say thank you to all of you. If you do like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. I put that out now first. I used to do it at the end, but hey, can't fault me. Still learning. Most of us are on this journey for quite some time. And realistically, I can say at this point, I feel like we are unpacking a lot of things as we finalize another cycle ending. I feel like, at least for myself, this last unpacking feels more like a flow. And tonight, we had a really beautiful gust of wind blowing through our neighborhood. It was spectacular. And I just sat in my backyard and I watched this huge chestnut tree just sway back and forth in the wind. And it made me feel like at this point in time, a lot of us have got to that stretch of our existence on this ascension journey where we feel like we're in the flow, that we are those boughs that just absorb the fiery winds of time and of life and of patience and of self. And we're getting to a point where we understand the flow a lot better. But I can honestly say this title of this was that I wanted to point out some things that I wish I had known when I started my journey. Because I feel like it helped me get to this part of the flow, but I feel like if I had known them before, it, could have got me there faster. So I'm hoping that this message I share to you guys is to help you get to this flow or this stretch of the process. That most of us, I feel like at certain points of the journey, that if you notice some of us that are on here even for quite some time, you'll notice that we have similar messages at this time. It's like we know that the cycle is ending. We are saying goodbye once again to many places and things. And the thing is that I truly feel like, yes, as it is a succession, it is also a state of being or a state of place in your totality that you feel like you're understanding how the process works. You know that you can't really force much. You can't really put upon much. You have to really take into consideration everything you've gone through, all the challenges, all the tests, all the persons that have been in either your way or an encumbrance or you've had to transmute through. There's been so many levels to this unraveling that we've all been going through. And for us at this point, some of us do feel like we are in this state of flow. Now, I personally, I'm a big fan of knowing how to circumvent certain things, but I do feel like what I can say, these are some truths that I had to face in my time that maybe you may be facing depending on which state of this you are at. Because if you find that you are within the beginning stages, some of these things I'm going to talk about might help you. What I can honestly say is don't be scared to take chances. Don't be scared to make mistakes. Because what the loveliness that you'll find in going through these paths, things don't ever stay in a state of being frozen in time. It's actually a lot better to act. It's a lot better to just move forward in any motion that propels you forward. Any way, any shape. It could even be like doing this. But as long as you go left and right and left and this way, but you're in a motion of moving forward, that's the whole point. So it doesn't really truly matter if some of those things are mistakes or what you would qualify as mistakes. Simply because what people may not realize is taking chances and making mistakes is actually challenging a certain perception. Once you've challenged it, you know that that might not be the direction to go. You've done an elimination. Now, if you stayed without acting, if you stayed without even attempting, you'll notice that you still stay stuck because you still don't have answers for yourself. So sometimes you have to understand that mistakes are not truly mistakes. They're ways to tell you, this way leads into a place you're not really about, right? And you would only know that by walking into it. So I can honestly say something that I didn't realize at the beginning of my journey was that I needed to make mistakes. I needed to take chances, not only for myself, but for God, for everything that I've had to endure, like you guys endure. I mean, not just for God, but it's also for the process of what we're going through with humanity. We know that we're here to do something. So it's like if you stay frozen and in inaction, you actually don't challenge or contemplate the ways you need to be proceeding. And the thing is that staying stuck can have and wreak effect of ever reaching the flow state that I was speaking about. So I do want to say, take those chances, make those mistakes. that elimination process will get you closer to your actual victory. So that's a truth that I had to face at the beginning, in the middle, but I feel like I've come to understand this for these last years. So I hope that helps. Oh, the next truth, it's a tough one, but it is a reality that if you haven't come to, and I truly feel like some of us will have a hard time with this one, but I have to put it out there. Sometimes it's okay to admit that you were wrong. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us don't even realize that we're put in these ego binds, and I call them binds because they're so very thinly veiled over our eyes. These little trip-ups of ego that we don't see. And this is one that took me a long time to face, and maybe this is one that you're facing right now. It's okay to say that you made a mistake. Sometimes when you're letting go of relationships and how you process getting over the hump of the pain and suffering you foresee to feel, sometimes you have to really give some forgiveness to yourself and say, it's okay that I made this mistake. Some of us stay stuck in relationships, be it with family, friends, etc., simply because we don't want to tell ourselves that we went wrong. We don't want to say to ourselves, oh, you know what? There's no way that I could have been this misled by this person. There's no way that I couldn't have seen that they were going to do this to me. It's okay to admit to yourself that this happened, that they fooled you, that they took you for a ride. Sometimes people want to hold on to relationships to prove to themselves that they didn't make a mistake. And what I can honestly say is that by admitting that you made the mistake is the sooner you know that you can move on and move over it or under it. It just means that you can move away from it, if anything. And I bring this up because I feel like this is something that can hold you back. Because by not admitting these personal mistakes, these are not mistakes that are open to everyone. These are mistakes that you feel inside. Like, you guys all know that I've gone through my share of relationships that were faltered. And I think this was something that tripped me up for a long time, so I want to share it. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because these were things that I didn't even realize were prohibiting me from actually moving forward, because I was stuck in this mental madness of like feeling like, how could I have not seen this? How could I be fooled? It gave me self-doubt. So I'm saying, it's like, if you are seeing these relationships where you feel like you can't let go of them simply because you can't admit you made a mistake to yourself, it's what's going to keep you bound. And that's what I meant by that. These ego binds are very, very, very thin, and they're very, very thin veiled over the eyes so you don't see them. So sometimes it's a really hard thing to say, but sometimes saying, I made that mistake, I recognize it, I will not make it again because I recognize it. And it's a truth that I had to face. So I hope that this helps, because I think if I had gotten out of those relationships or admitted that to myself for some of these relationships, I could have moved forward a lot faster and been part of this state sooner. So if you're somebody who's in this, like, I would call it like a mental madness, because it's really you facing yourself and saying, hey, this person was horrifying, or this person that I currently have in my life is still horrifying. But the point is that you felt like, why didn't I notice they were horrifying previously? And that can keep you trapped, because you're like, no, they can't be that bad. How could I not have seen this? It's so thinly veiled, because obviously there comes a point where you're like, did I not see this the entire time? And the thing is that when you do recognize that the person is horrifying, it puts a mental block on you, because you're like, how bad is my navigation? How bad is my center of self to not be aware that this person is horrifying? And I want to say that this leads into my next point. Sometimes you have to realize that it's better to realize it sooner than later, and to forgive yourself. This is my last one. Forgive yourself. Because you want to know something? You truly will hold yourself bound for a very long time, because you feel like this process of overcoming is never going to stop unraveling. But it is a truth that I want to profess, because overcoming is an unraveling that takes time. It takes patience. You have to keep love in your heart to even get through this process. Because realistically, if you don't open up that cavern of your soul, and if you don't open up that cavern of your heart and open it to all of these points in my measures that I'm talking about, I feel like the flow state will take a lot longer, or at least to shed, or at least to let go of, simply because you're not willing to face these ugly truths. And I know that as a chosen, and as a starseed, and as any of these implantations of light bearers and light bringers, we've had to go to places of our soul and understanding that may not make sense to anyone else. So the thing is that if you are starting in this journey and you're noticing that you're having to face that mirror of yourself, that is quite scary. I hope that this challenges you, because these are things that I wish I noticed before. It would have helped me release. It would have helped me let go. Because the thing is that this is probably my 6th revolution of a closing I've felt in my journey. Probably 5 or 6. Some are towers. Some are just big progressions of release. So if I can bring that joy and happiness to you sooner, those may be things that you need to forge ahead with. So every time I come on here, I try to always pre-warn, or at least show that I'm here with you in your challenges and what you may be going through. And the reason why I brought this up was because of those limbs of that tree. How did I get to a place where I feel like I could sway in the wind? I could take the brunt of these storms that come at us all the time. And it's because I'm moving through this understanding that we are beings of acceptance. We are beings of understanding. We are beings of experience. And that is the point. We are here to experience. And unfortunately, sometimes we have to look at all angles of the experience in order to really see what's going on. And I know that we may underestimate ourselves in some respects for that. But I can say this personally. Don't ever underestimate someone's fear. Don't ever underestimate the fear you may have in your heart, because the thing is that there are caverns to our love. There are caverns to our soul expression, and a lot of them can be prohibited by fear. And if we don't acknowledge that we are scared of our own truths, because they are hardest to face, then we get entrapped again by fear. Fear of acceptance, fear of forgiveness. Because what does it mean to be forgiven? What does it mean to step into forgiveness of self? It means that you can honestly say that every step you take forward is for the right purpose. There's never a real mistake. There's always a reason why you are where you are. And you notice this in the flow, and it's only truly through the patience of accepting everything and every flaw and every disaster you've gone through, and saying, I am this. I've been about this. I've been a part of this. It's all been me. It's all been me inside. It's all been me going through the pain. It's all been me trudging through this self-sacrifice of the omnipotent. It's a process. So I just wanted to bring that. It's a solemn Sunday message. So I'm going to head into the cards. If you don't want to be a part of the cards, that's cool. I wanted to share that lovely message and maybe some truths that we should face in order to get through our challenges in life, pretty much. But those were things and truths that I wish I knew going into my ascension journey. Because to get to the flow of self is not something that won't be treacherous and have its own levels and demons as well. But I feel like you get to a place where you're like really coveted into this idea of self and where you're headed and what you want and where your backing is with God and Source. It just becomes a lot easier. Come away with me. I love this song. So I'm just knocking the cards. I'm going to start with our energy cards for the week. I'm going to clarify with some spirit cards. They are Return of Spirit. So I like this clarifying thing. But I hope you guys have had a lovely Sunday. It's been a solemn Sunday for me, and I always love to connect with you guys. I like to do these energy cards because, like I'm saying, we're all going through something, and I want to connect with you in all the ways I possibly can. Through song, through rhythm, through poems. I got to start doing more poems again. I've been writing a lot, but I haven't been sharing. So let's see what the cards have for us this week. But I am so blessed to be here with all of you. I feel more love and I feel more capacity for it. Aw, geez. Hostility. How did we come up with that in all this beauty? The message is the message. Maybe it's because of, and this is for you guys, so I'm hoping that this isn't the case. 7th chakra. So this is the crown chakra, but it doesn't state that, but I know what the 7th chakra is. Archangel Uriel. I see the indigo, so crown potential. Well, woman holding a heart. Okay. And you know me, I have to look at all the cards and come up with my own decipherings of what's going on. You know what I mean? What? Anxiety. Wow. Todos tenemos problemas, mis amigos y muchachos y muchachas. ¿Qué pasó? What is going on, my friends? This is not panning out the way I thought it would. At least there's no patience this time. That's interesting. So clarifying with these ones. So the one we have so far is hostilities. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Woman holding a heart. And anxiety. Okay. I'm getting some feelings off of this one. And, I have my feelings and reservations on these. I'm going to wait till I clarify, okay? So I'm going to do a clarifying card for each one of these. And then I'm going to decipher what's up. And I'm going to help you guys out because this seems very interesting. And I feel like it's towards my feminines out there because it seems to be giving me a feminine nature. Because they're all pretty much women except for this one dude that's causing hostilities. So I'm sorry. Okay. So I got right order for hostilities. Okay, we're moving into a different up-tempo of the musica. Okay. I got innocence. So that's for the 7th chakra Archangel Uriel card. Like I said, that had to do more with the crown and I think it seemed more of a imperial nature to me. That's what I'm getting off of this card this week. It's not the same every week. It's different the way I see the cards, obviously. The woman holding a heart is getting a beautiful card of fearlessness. So that makes total sense, I think. Because realistically, to be in love, it is to be fearless, right? So that makes sense. So I got this anxiety card. What's this anxiety? What's going on with this anxiety? This isn't cool. I don't want to see this for you guys. Oh, yeah. Come on. Well, you know what? The message is the message. So I'm going to check this out. This hostilities guy is giving me a hard time over here because I feel like he's the one that's giving you guys hostilities. Up. Okay, so that makes total sense for me, actually. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Just summing this all up. Okay, so 7th chakra, holding the heart. Okay, so what I seem to be picking up on this is that there seems to be some feminine, or either someone who is a male with a feminine attribute, or maybe the feminine nature, and that's okay because we are both, so this is a neutral thing, and just know this is for entertainment, so don't hold me to all of this. But I would say that this is pertaining to a person, let's just say, that is trying to hold on to their heart. It seems like I'm saying with this heart, it's like as if they're fearful that someone's going to take their heart away from them. And it seems like that they sense whoever this person is, male or female, is feeling hostilities. And unfortunately, I'm saying that this is the only male item here. So it seems like whoever this woman is, and I'm sorry I'm saying woman, but it is in this picture. This woman seems very fearful because actually it's the other way around. She's like, well, it seems like she's looking away from this person, whoever they are. Because for some reason I'm getting the feeling that whoever this person is, she feels like she's being threatened, either from her crown chakra, meaning her own sovereignty or her own power in a sense, in the sense of like what she deems to see fit as for who she is and who she proclaims to be, because that is your sovereign right as a being here. So it seems like basically these two seem to stick out to me, primarily because it seems like they are wising up, it seems like, to this state of being that they need to be in terms of protection. And it seems like, see how these work, innocence and fearlessness, because realistically she does look very innocent and solemn in this, and also so does this woman. She looks like she's very well dressed and she has like a flavorful way about her. So it's like as if I'm seeing that whoever this person is, she may come off as both innocent and fearless, both at the same time, because there's something about her innocence that maybe makes her fearless, and this idea of like love that she's trying to somewhat hold on to. But at the same time, that's what makes her fearless, because she is dealing with these hostilities with either a person or her heart. Like maybe this represents something else other than a man figure, and it could mean like what she foresees as hostilities to her crown and to her heart. Like maybe she's trying to step into some type of proclamation of self, and she has to hold on to the innocence and fearlessness in her heart in order to put forth what she's trying to put forth. And the reason why this right order, I think, is coming out is because it's trying to tell me that this is all in right order in the way that I'm perceiving it. So hostilities might have been the first situation, and maybe this person had to work through this innocence and reclamation of the crown, and using the fearlessness to hold on and to cultivate what's in her heart. This is the right order of how they want me to proclaim this. And it seems like the last part of this is that because of being in this state, this woman or the person at hand here has been feeling a lot of anxiety. And I do understand, because it seems like the anxiousness is coming from waiting and maybe not getting some answers, it seems like, or like she's pondering, she's thinking things over. So it seems like whoever this person is, maybe just at a stage of like having to hold on or having to think about things, or either having to really put forth an idea of how to get out of this anxious state. But realistically, the anxiety, I feel like, comes from her having to wait or having to sit around and mope and think about things. And I don't know why I said mope, but it seems like she's really like, if you look at her face, like she's really distraught, like she's really like in deep thought about what's going on. And here it says up. And I know that I've seen this card before and I've read up on it before, but realistically it was about vibrational self, of rising up. So I feel like the only advice given for this person who is currently feeling anxious due to this situation is that they may have to work on... Wow, that actually stands out in a weird way. Wow. Okay, not to say nothing, but this is a very phallic looking symbol. But it seems like maybe it has something to do, because I do see here that this has to do with the 7th chakra. But what stands out to me is that this would make me think more so about the sacral chakra, like rising up maybe through the sacral. So maybe this person ponders too much about her stability, and she's wondering how she'll make it through the hostilities or maintain this way of being that she's had to fight through with her innocence and her fearlessness of holding on to her heart, holding on to her crown, is making her feel anxious. But maybe her sacral stability might be needing to go up, or needing in general to go up with her train of thought that could prohibit her from reaching up. But I think also too, she could do other activities such as, let's say, yoga or meditation. And I don't even want to say that. I would say high intensity activity sometimes can get your heart rate up, and it can also get your elevation of elevated self. But I do know what it feels like to be in all of these states. And if it is a man, I hope he apologizes, because it seems like this woman's going through a lot just to deal with this. But that's what I got for the read today. I hope you guys feel blessed. This is really weird because I feel like this is specific. This seems like one particular person, because this is outlining like a story. Usually they're more ambiguous. They kind of give us more of a broadened tale. But this week it seems like it's specifically for the feminines in my situation of my tribe, and or a male who is who's had to go through the same trajectory with the holding of his own heart and or of his crown, in terms of like the prosperity of the royal self through innocence and fearlessness. Because realistically, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Those are traits that both could possess. So I just want to say that. But I know that it is in all the right order. Whatever this is, maybe whoever's feeling anxious right now, I feel like these two are intertwined as well, because it's like whatever you're postulating about, or what you're really worried about, is maybe not worth worrying about, but you wouldn't know that. That's the feeling I'm getting from these two cards, because it's like it's all in divine order. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you may not see the divine order of it all. So you are anxious in this state because you don't have the trajectory or forward sight, because you're constantly postulating. So I would say whoever you are, maybe take a breather, maybe just take a couple days to say, you know what, there's nothing I could do about this situation, so I got to let it unfold. Kind of like what I was saying before about the unraveling. It's like, those are truths. Like I said, like you just got to let things unravel. So I feel like the message is the same for you, whoever you are. I do love you guys. I hope you have a great night. And realistically, I hope that I can bring forth whatever I can to the world. Stay blessed, not stressed. Love you lots.